Oh no, another bloody blackout. Did you know that hundreds of Queenslanders have had their electricity cut off because they can't pay their overpriced power bills? And perhaps you didn't know that a large far north Queensland community has been denied electricity for over 40 years. Here's Pauline Hanson's One Nation Party's candidate for Cook, Jen Sackley.
This morning I'm sitting in the beautiful Daintree and I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Russell O'Doherty. Russell has informed us about ongoing concerns in regards to power for the Daintree community. So Russell, good morning to Queensland. They all want to hear what's been going on up here for you, mate. And how long has this been happening?
Good morning, Jen. This has been going on for nearly 4 decades now, and when Wayne Goss was in power, he passed an Act of Parliament which effectively excised us from the Ergon Energy Network. We are the only community in Australia that has been denied access to grid power, and unfortunately that's caused the community to struggle to survive for, as I said, nearly 4 decades.
So when this sort of started, I think you were talking to me earlier about 40 years ago at least that you can remember.
Yeah, the Cow Bay pub was actually built 40 years ago. When they built the pub, they installed the power pole because, like everyone in the area that bought properties in the area, we were promised grid quality power within a few years. There are people out there that say, well, you people chose to live in the area knowing that power wasn't here, but we were promised power. There was an expression of interest put out by the FNQEB at that particular time, which asked people to sign up to power. So it's not as if we're never given the opportunity. The opportunity was taken away by the state government.
Okay, so what you're telling Queenslanders this morning is that you actually purchased here with the belief, in good faith, from the state government that you would receive power.
That's exactly correct.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Why haven't you got power?
Well, unfortunately, we've been saddled with a Labor government for almost the last 3 decades, apart from the last LNP government that got in.
So you're saying it's been 40 years?
It is.
Okay.
It's the 40th anniversary this year of the solitary power pole being installed at the Cow Bay pub. There are a lot of issues up here regarding the environment and how we've been forced to pollute the environment in its various forms.
So can we just talk about that a little bit, Russell?
Yeah.
You're talking about polluting the environment, and I guess that's, a lot of people are sort of concerned because I think, we're all very much aware of the uniqueness of the Daintree.
Yeah.
And nobody more than the people who live here, obviously. You have to be green to live here. You've felt, that you've been legislated to poison the environment that you love?
Well, that's what it comes down to. Like, we've made the various governments well aware of the fact that on average this community burns nearly 3 million litres of fuel per annum.
3 million litres?
3 million litres, and that's conservative. On average that relates to about 7,000 tonnes of CO2 pumped directly into the Daintree rainforest every year. But you've also got the fact that sump oil from generators leaches into the rainforest, which eventually is washed out onto the Great Barrier Reef. You have battery acid that leaks out of batteries. It all contributes to the pollution of the environment, and that's something that we wanted to avoid, but we've had no choice. The governments have refused to look at putting in a better form of power.
The power is actually over here. It is on this side of the river.
Yes, that's correct.
How long has it been there?
Since about 1990, if not the late 80s. There are 15 properties over there that enjoy grid quality power. It comes across the river.
Comes across the river to, what's the name of that road?
Thornton Peak Drive. So people on one side of Thornton Peak Drive have grid quality power provided by Ergon Energy. People on the other side of the road are stuck with diesel generators and solar
the
power.
people on the other side of the road, Queensland, don't have power, but they can see the lights on at this bloke's neighbour's house across the road. Is that what you're telling me?
That's exactly
Isn't
correct.
that hilarious?
We've never asked to be connected to the grid as a sole solution.
Absolutely.
We've always asked for just a better form of power.
So do you think you're being treated equally in Queensland?
There's no way known we've been treated equally. The community here can't access any of the rebates that people on south of the Daintree River enjoy. There's so many areas that we believe we've been discriminated against it actually got to the point where we no longer felt that or feel that we're part of Queensland.
So you're impacting the environment by, you know, the fuel and the fumes and you know, from the generators that you're using. But some people are going, why doesn't he just use solar power?
Yeah, well, solar in the right area is fine. I have 50 panels on my roof. I have to run my generator nearly every day for at least 4 hours to top my batteries up so I have enough power for overnight.
So if somebody over here also on those sort of, I guess, thinking around medical health issues where people needed power, how does that impact the community?
It's really difficult. A lot of elderly people actually have to sell up and move out of the area because of their medical needs. Our little health centre, which basically runs on diesel and solar, needs to keep medicine refrigerated. Their systems have shut down many times, and our local nurses had to throw out.
So what you're saying to me is that people's lives could actually be at risk because the state government is still ignoring what you need.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You've already said that the state government, while it's a Labor government, has never supported it. They've kept you in the dark. That needs to change. This is a real issue for Queenslanders everywhere at the moment, not from your angle, because they're all thinking they're concerned about power prices. You're actually being denied power altogether.
Well, if we pay 5 to 10 times more for our power than anyone else in the state.
From us this morning and from the rest of Queensland, we want to say, mate, we're right behind your plight. We're not going to come off it. We're certainly not going to come off it until the lights are turned on the Daintree, okay, and that you can actually have power and feel that you are equal to the rest of Queensland. We're going to do everything we can to support what you need to get done. So Queensland, we're going to leave the Daintree now because we know that Russell has a million things to do, and one of them is to fuel up those generators because the sun will be going down and he's going to need to light up this house for his family. And we're going to get back and stay in touch with Russell and see how this progresses. Thank you, Queensland.